Once you cross 75, life hits you a little different. Suddenly, you don't want to deal with drama, you don't want to explain yourself, and you sure as heck don't want to lose your peace over things that never mattered in the first place. And listen, here on Luxury Time, we don't just talk about getting older, we talk about getting wiser. So stick around, because today I'm going to share 4 things every senior should keep private if they want to protect their dignity, stay respected, and live the rest of their life in peace. And trust me, these aren't just tips. They're lessons carved from decades of life, mistakes, and real deal experience. I remember this old-timer named Raymond, a Korean war vet who lived down the block. Raymond was that classic American grandpa, flannel shirt, slow walk, and a sense of humor dry enough to crack a sidewalk. Every Sunday afternoon, he'd sit outside on his porch swing, sipping sweet tea like he had all the time in the world. One day I asked him, "Ray, what's the secret to staying so calm? You never seem bothered by anything." He chuckled and said, "Son, after 75, I stopped explaining myself." That line stuck with me for years. Because here's the truth. The very first thing you should keep private after 75 is your personal decisions. Why? Because by now you've lived enough life to know what works for you. Maybe you don't want to travel. Maybe you're saving your money. Maybe you're dating someone new after losing a spouse. Maybe you're downsizing your home, and when you're older, everyone suddenly feels like they've got a say in your life. Kids, grandkids, neighbors, caregivers, even folks who barely know you. But as Raymond told me, not everything needs a family meeting. At this age, you're not obligated to justify your wellness routines, financial habits, medical preferences, who you talk to, or what you buy. Your peace matters more than people's opinions. And if someone presses you, just say, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm handling it." Short, simple, dignified. That's senior wisdom right there. Now let me tell you about something I learned from my grandfather, a man who lived through the tail end of the Depression, worked 2 jobs, and still found a way to hand me $1 for ice cream every Friday. He had this old leather wallet, cracked, faded, smelled like years of tobacco and peppermint. But inside it, only he knew what was there. When I asked why he never let anyone peek, he said, "Money ain't something you talk about, kid. It's something you handle quietly." And he was right, because the second thing you should keep private after 75, your financial situation. Whether you're comfortable, struggling, or somewhere in between, once family members know your income, your savings, your property, your accounts, suddenly everyone has an opinion, or expectations, or pressure, or guilt, sometimes even manipulation. It's not that they're bad people, it's human nature. Folks start assuming, planning, or suggesting. But after 75, you've earned the right to keep it to yourself. The truth is, your money is your business. Your savings don't need to be discussed. Your will doesn't need to be broadcasted. Your spending isn't up for debate. Family doesn't always need to know every number. They just need to know you're okay. And if they ever ask too many questions, just smile and say, "I've got everything handled. Don't you worry about me." Because nothing protects a senior's dignity like privacy, especially when it comes to finances. There's something about growing older that nobody tells you. Your heart doesn't age the same way your body does. You see, back in my early 60s, I met this older gentleman named Walter Tall, soft-spoken, always wearing this old bomber jacket from his Air Force days. We used to see him every morning at the diner. Same booth, same order, same slow smile. One day, a couple of us regulars noticed he'd been meeting a lady there. A sweet-looking woman with silver curls and a laugh that could brighten the whole room. Someone joked, "Walter, who's the lucky gal?" He just smiled, sipped his coffee, and said, "A friend." But later that week, when I sat beside him, he told me the truth. "Son, when you're my age, affection becomes precious, not fragile, just private." He explained how older people often face judgment when they find companionship again. Especially after losing a spouse, kids may worry. Relatives may gossip. People may misunderstand. But Walter said something I'll never forget. Love after 70 isn't for the world to approve, it's for the heart to understand. And that's the third thing seniors should keep private after 75, your personal emotions and relationships. Listen, your heart is allowed to feel comfort. It's allowed to want company. It's allowed to heal in its own way. A good friend, a close companion, even just someone to talk to on long evenings. These things matter deeply at this age, but you don't owe explanations. You don't owe justifications. You don't have to tell anyone if you're lonely, hurting, sad, or happy again. Because emotions in older age are sensitive, and sharing them with the wrong person can bring criticism instead of comfort. Sometimes, a warm conversation, a gentle laugh, a bit of connection. These are treasures you enjoy quietly. As Walter said, not everything your heart feels is meant for public showing. And if someone pushes you, just say, "I'm all right, everything's in its place." That's dignity, that's wisdom, that's senior strength. Let me tell you something about the past. It has teeth. It can bite when you least expect it. I used to know a woman named Martha, a retired school teacher, sharp mind, gentle spirit, and one heck of a storyteller. But every time her family visited, she'd sit quiet, calm, and reserved. One afternoon, when it was just the two of us, I asked why she never shared her stories with them. She said, "Because the past belongs to the people who lived it, not the ones who judge it." You see, Martha grew up in a rough neighborhood back in the late 50s. Her father worked 2 jobs. Her mother battled health issues. Life wasn't always pretty. In her 20s, she worked night shifts, struggled through heartbreaks, made mistakes, learned painful lessons, just like anyone else. But the younger generation, they sometimes look at an elder's past with modern eyes. They judge it, question it, or shame it. That's when Martha taught me something powerful. The 4th thing seniors should keep private after 75 is their past, especially the parts that still carry weight. It's not about hiding anything. It's about protecting your peace. Your past isn't a confession booth. It's not a talk show episode. It's not a family investigation. You've lived decades. Times were different. Rules were different. Life was different. If your past shaped you, if it taught you, if it made you stronger, that's all that matters. Not everyone deserves access to your private history. Not everyone needs to know your mistakes or scars. If you ever feel the pressure to open up, remember Martha's words. "My past made me who I am." It doesn't need to be explained, just carried with grace. And honestly, that's what dignity looks like in older age. Now let's talk about something every senior faces eventually. Health. I knew a man named Frank. Lived in a small town in Ohio. Solid as a rock, Navy vet, 77 years old, and the kind of guy who had a joke for every bad day. Frank's family, well-meaning, loving. But let's just say, they like to advise. One day Frank told me he had started a new exercise routine. Nothing extreme, just light weights and morning walks. A few weeks later, his daughter started calling 3 times a day. "Dad, are you sure you're okay? Are you overdoing it? Dad, you should see a doctor first. Dad, maybe try this supplement instead." Frank laughed, but inside he was frustrated. That's when he learned the 5th rule. Keep your health decisions private. It's not disrespecting family. It's not secrecy for secrecy's sake. It's about peace of mind. You've lived long enough to know your body. You've felt what hurts. You've learned what works. By 75 plus, sharing every medical choice with everyone can create stress, confusion, or even guilt. Sometimes well-meaning advice is just noise. Frank said it best. "Son, I don't need a committee to tell me how to walk. I just need to walk. Your health is personal. You have the right to make decisions quietly. And yes, a doctor can guide you, but you don't need a public debate at the dinner table." This one's a tricky but important lesson. When I was visiting Margaret, a 78-year-old retired librarian, she had a living room filled with books, history, poetry, travel, you name it. But Margaret had a rule. She never discussed religion, politics, or her personal beliefs at family gatherings. Her reasoning was simple. Some things are meant for me, not everyone else. And here's the 6th rule for seniors. Keep your personal beliefs private if sharing will cause tension. Look, families are complicated. People have opinions. Some of them are loud. Some of them don't respect your age or your experience. Margaret said she's seen it all. Arguments, hurt feelings, estrangement, over things that didn't need discussion. She told me, sometimes saying nothing is the bravest thing you can do. It's not avoidance, it's wisdom. By keeping personal beliefs private, you protect your peace, your dignity, family harmony. It's not hiding who you are. It's choosing which battles to fight. And at 75 plus, most aren't worth it. Margaret had this soft smile as she said, "Luxury time taught me this. If you live long enough, you learn that not every opinion is yours to defend." And that, my friend, is pure senior wisdom. We all make mistakes. Some big, some small. And by the time you hit 75, let me tell you, most folks around you will remind you of them, whether you like it or not. I remember Tom, a retired carpenter, 76, who had spent his life building homes and mentoring younger guys on the job. Tom had a story from his 40s. One financial mistake, a bad investment. Every holiday, a nephew would jokingly remind him, "Hey, Uncle Tom, remember that time you?" He laughed, but inside he was tired. The 7th rule for seniors is, keep your past mistakes private. You've learned. You've grown. You've paid your dues. You don't owe anyone a replay of your slip-ups. Sharing them invites criticism. Keeping them private invites peace. Tom told me, "I made that mistake to learn, not to entertain or justify. That's my business." And that's senior wisdom, pure and simple. Everyone loves giving advice on how you should live your day. I knew Eleanor, a 79-year-old widow who loved her morning ritual, coffee on the porch, reading the newspaper, and a slow walk around her garden. Family would suggest changes. Why not go to the gym? Why not call more people? Why not volunteer every day? Eleanor learned quickly, your routines are private. You've lived long enough to know what keeps you happy, calm, and grounded. No one else's opinion matters more than your peace of mind. Keep your rituals sacred, protect them, and enjoy your life your way. Grandpa always said, some memories are meant for your heart, not for a family album. I remember Walter, our Korean War vet from Chapter 3, keeping a box of letters and photos tucked away. He never shared everything, even with his kids. Why? Because some things are just for you. Personal victories, secret joys, quiet griefs. Rule 9. Keep certain memories private. They shape you. They teach you. They protect your dignity. Sharing them isn't necessary, and often it's better not to. This last chapter brings it all together. Privacy isn't about hiding. It's about preserving peace, respect, and dignity. After 75, life is shorter than you think. You've earned the right to quiet, calm, and control over your own life. It's not selfish, it's wisdom. Your family may not always understand, and that's okay. Your friends, your neighbors, your community, none of that matters as much as you, feeling steady, safe, and respected. That's what all 4 rules, decisions, finances, emotions, past, lead to. A life of dignity without chaos. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into grandparent wisdom, remember one thing. Life after 75 can be beautiful, peaceful, and full of dignity if you protect it. On Luxury Time, we bring you real stories, lessons, and advice for seniors who want to live fully, proudly, and wisely. So hit like, leave a comment sharing your own experiences, and don't forget to subscribe to Luxury Time for more stories that inspire, guide, and remind us that age is just a number, but wisdom lasts forever. Protect your peace, cherish your dignity, and keep living the life you deserve.